of what they've been doing. And one thing that we need to understand, today we have youths across the continent that are unapologetic to say we are Africans and we are proud of who we are.
Yeah, true.
So it is high time that we empower those youths with that mindset that they have, with that vision that they have, with those ideas that they have, with the belief and interest and faith for the continent, in order to occupy those public offices, in order to be in leadership positions, because the political will is always important. We can't do without having been able to make decisions.
Let's talk about investment in Africa. Do you think it's time for Africans to invest in Africa? Or do you think, I mean, you have been doing a lot of investment here in Ghana, I don't know about other African countries, but do you think that it's worth it for an African to invest in Africa?
You see, and this answer will not just be for Africa. Life is about investment and development. Okay? The people that understand life should always know what the money is worth, because that's what they're chasing. But it should be about investment and development. Now, when I talk about investment, it comes in different scales. There is investment that you put in the nation, in the people. There is investment that you put on the grounds. There's investment that you put in the water. Every one of this will bring you returns. One of them will give you cash. One of them will give you prominence. And one of them will give you state power. Okay? Now, the question is Africans practicing investment and development? No. Because that is
practicing?
well, because you're asking the question that do you think Africans should invest in Africa? No, they're not practicing investment. The average African is going for education and expecting to get a job.
I mean, that's the education system that we have.
Well, to answer your question, don't you think practically and pragmatically, human beings are not supposed to be forced and pushed into a corner where they think that I'm going to pay your school fees, go to school, so when you finish your education, you can get a job. Where's the business mind? Without the business mind, where's the investment?
So that's what I'm saying. There's something wrong with our education system.
Absolutely, yes. Why do I believe so? Because people think that education is only when you walk into school and apply academic resources. Education comes from natural resources, the natural living as well. Every day we learn. And you see, people are going to win and they're going to gain. People who fail are also going to learn. So you still win in life. And people have not taken that very serious, that learning is a procedure that goes in different levels, in different stages of our lives. And that's when you're educating yourself. You acquire knowledge from that. There's some point you're going to acquire wisdom from that. At some point you're going to educate yourself, not by saying a word, by just listening. They should remember the same words that says silence is the same words that spells listen. So if someone is listening, I want them to be silent and get it right, that education brings wisdom, it brings knowledge, it brings understanding. The moment that you understand a product or a resource, the value of it, you taking someone like Rockefeller, when he understood the opportunity that he can get from just the oil that he was trying to drill, he became the richest man in the world. You take in Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa did not go to university and acquire degrees, but he realized that the value on the ground as gold, if he can mine as much and turn it to coins, he built universities out of it, Timbuktu. In fact, he's the richest man that ever lived, and he came from Africa. This is a great history for Africans to learn from, because this should be in our educational academic syllabus. Learning about our people and how they became successful. And that's why I started this whole discussion about we always looking up to the Western and not looking up to ourselves. What African buys made in Africa, apart from the food that they think is cheap or free? Anything else from Africa, we're knocking it. Anything that is from black on black, we're knocking it. And you know, people are blaming some Westerners and some white people for destroying Africa, when we just have to wake up and stand up to the people who are doing wrong to us, to the people who are not accepting our values, to the people who are not adding value to society and building our continent. This is what we're not being courageous about. For me, all this is part of education. And guess what? Education is the biggest investment. And it comes out of development. So that's the equation. Those who are listening, they should get the numbers. That's all we have. We're numbered for days. And whilst we're here, the time that you have invested in us today is the time that you have had us to open our mouths for the entire continent to hear that great minds coming together can give you a degree that you spend 8 years to acquire in university just in 30 minutes. I mean, this is like Jay-Z saying that I'm selling your whole life on $9.99. But I'm just saying this very moment, we are sharing wisdom, knowledge, courage, you know, things that would make people understand that being black is not a curse, but it's power.